Hello everyone, welcome back to another Watch Me Work on my channel. Today I am showing you guys how I did these super cute sweater nails and sweater pumpkins. So I absolutely loved this idea I saw on Instagram and I knew I had to recreate it. So this is what the end result looked like, and this is what her nails started out with. They were 3 weeks grown out. I did not film this set. I used decals, and these decals are from Nashley Nails. I do have a discount code for you, which I will put on the screen here. First time using decals, so I didn't record it. I just wanted to play around and have fun with it. So if you are interested in seeing a video about decals, let me know and I can definitely make that. So I am just going to remove her old design and prep and fill new product, and then we will get started with the art portion. And this is my inspiration. I wanted to show you guys the photo. It is from this nail tech on here. Her Instagram is Taylor MJ Morrow, and I just absolutely love the way that she did these sweaters and the pumpkin design. I loved it. So I wanted to kind of recreate it, but change the colors up a little bit. So that is my inspiration. So let's dive right in to the art. So this is what her nails look like now, all filled and shaped and ready for color. So I am using the Luxio color in the shade Gypsy. It's a really gorgeous, absolutely one of my favorite colors for fall, really. Like, it's a kind of berry plum color. I feel like it shows up a little bit more pink in my camera, and in person it's just a tad more purple toned. So I absolutely love this color. So I wanted to incorporate this color. So I painted this on the pinky, the ring finger, and the thumb. And I noticed on the first coat that it was a little bit sheer. So I made sure after that first coat I mixed the gel polish together, and the way that I like to mix it is I actually stick a spatula inside the bottle and then like stir it around and make sure I scrape kind of the bottom of the gel polish bottle and the sides and just mix it all up really well that way, because when you shake it, sometimes the gel polish can actually go up into the lid. Then when you set it back down and the gel polish starts to settle, the gel polish will get into that lid and it will just all come down around the sides of the bottle. So I stopped shaking my bottles like that, and now I just take a spatula and spin it around and get in there and scrape it really good. And then the coverage was a lot better after that. So it definitely needed a good stir, but that's one of my tips for getting your colors really nice and mixed, is use a spatula versus shaking them, because it can cause the gel polish bottles to leak and then you have a big mess. So both hands in this design are exactly the same. So whatever I do on one hand, I am also doing on the other hand. So I am doing 2 coats of this Gypsy color, and then I'm going to apply a nude on the pointer and the middle finger. And the nude color is called Luxio. It's the Accents Luxio in the color Forever. It's one of my favorite nudes. I've gone through a few bottles of this one. It's so pretty. So I absolutely love this nude. Again, it's Luxio Forever by Accents. And I forgot to mention the builder gel underneath is the luminary gel. So she's actually kind of a lifter, so the luminary gel doesn't really lift at all on her. I love it. It's like a builder in a bottle. I do have another video all about the luminary gel and how to apply it. So if you want more information on that, make sure to check that video out. And I will have all of the links in the description box for the products that I use. So make sure to check that if you are curious or you need links for any of these products. So I'm doing 2 coats of that nude. Again, both hands are exactly the same. Now for the middle nail, I wanted to do a plaid design with stamping, so I am applying a matte top coat first. I like to apply stamps on top of a matte surface instead of a shiny one, because I feel like it just dries and works better that way. So the plate that I'm using is the Got Plaid plate from Clear Jelly Stamper, and this plate has a lot of different lines on it, and you can kind of customize and create your own plaid pattern. So it's a pretty cool plate. I would definitely say if you don't have it, you definitely need it for fall and winter because you can do so many different colors of plaid and like make your own plaid. So it's one of my favorite fall winter stamping plates to have. I also have a coupon code for Clear Jelly Stamper, so I will make sure and throw that on the screen as well. I believe it's for 10% off. The stamping polishes I'm using are a black and a white, and then I'm also using this color that matches that gel polish color that I used, as well as like a champagne gold, and those are number 40 and number 51, also from Clear Jelly Stamper. So first I am going in with that number 51, and I am starting with these kind of thicker lines, but the lines are not solid, like they have little tiny diagonal lines within that one line, if that makes sense. And I'm going at a diagonal angle with this and pressing it down. And I kind of prefer to go at a diagonal angle versus straight up and down or straight sideways, because I feel like sometimes that line can curve around the nail and it makes it look curved. So I just prefer to go diagonal because then I don't really have to worry about making sure it's a perfectly straight line. So then I'm going over the top in the opposite direction, and I'm using that kind of plummy wine color that matches the gel polish. Then I'm switching to some smaller lines, and I'm going in with the black, and again diagonal, and I'm kind of lining it up kind of next to the champagne lines. And as you can see, if you're using a clear gel or a clear stamper, you can see through it. So definitely recommend using a clear stamper so you can see where you are stamping. Then lastly, I'm going in with these little tiny fine lines with the white polish, and again, diagonal the opposite direction, and I'm just pressing that down and placing that in between some of the other lines that I've already created. So I was super happy with it. I love how it matches the colors of the gel polish, and I love that kind of champagne gold color. I love how this plaid turned out. So now I'm starting to work on the pumpkin, and I'm using a small detailer brush, and I'm just painting kind of that pumpkin shape with that nude gel polish. You could also use a nude gel paint if you have that. I just wanted to make sure that the pumpkin color and the other nails matched, so I just used the same nude. And I'm going to paint on 2 coats of that. So I have an opaque pumpkin. And I'm using a brown gel paint, and I'm going to use that same detailer brush, and I'm painting on a little stem, and that is going to be like our basic pumpkin shape before we apply the sweater design. So once the pumpkin design is cured, I'm now applying a matte top coat, and this is going to be the base of our sweater design. If you use a shiny top coat, you can do that as well, and you get a little bit more of a contrast between the background and the sweater design. So for the design, I'm using that same detailer brush and the same nude gel polish, and I am starting by applying kind of like little diagonal blobs. That's how I'm going to describe it. Just these little diagonal blobs, making sure I don't get too close. I don't want them to touch, because if they touch, they're going to kind of form into one big blob and you won't see the actual pattern. Being really careful to make sure they don't touch, and I'm going down and I'm doing one section at a time, because I don't want them to kind of form into one and lose the whole design. So I'm working in small sections. So as you can see, I've kind of got this left side going with these diagonal blobs. And then what you do is you pour on a really fine clear acrylic powder right on top and then cure that. And that is what is going to create that kind of textured sweater look. So once I cure that, I'm going to take a little brush and I'm just going to brush off the extra before I move on to the next section of the design. So same exact thing, but now I'm going the opposite direction with my little blobs. So now I'm going the opposite direction of these little diagonal blobs, and again making sure I space them out so they don't touch each other. You'll lose the design if they start to form into one big blob. And again, working in these small sections, pouring on my super fine clear acrylic powder and curing that. Now I'm going in with 2 lines using a striping brush to create some lines on either side of the pattern that we've already started to create. And then same thing, using the acrylic powder and curing that. Then when she comes out, dusting it off and starting in the next section. Then for the last part, I am just going on either side of those 2 lines and just adding some more little blobs to both sides to kind of complete the pumpkin, making sure I fill in the entire pumpkin with that sweater design. So that's what that looks like now. And then I'm using my same brown gel paint and my detailer brush, and I'm outlining the stem. I'm going to kind of make that into a sweater design also by pouring the acrylic powder on it. If you wanted to use a gel paint to do the entire sweater nail design, you totally could. It just is going to have a little bit more of a skinnier design because gel paint usually doesn't like spread out as much as a gel polish. So that's why I went with the gel polish, because I wanted it to be a little bit more of a chunky sweater. Now I'm just adding some leaves, and I'm using some white gel polish and then some little vines. I decided to go with white so that it kind of matched the plaid that I did, because there's a little bit of white in the plaid, and we decided we didn't want to do green. She did not want green, so we decided to go white, and so it all matched together. So again, pouring on my acrylic powder, curing that, and then that nail is completely done. So now I'm moving on to the pointer nail, which is going to be a full sweater design, and it's almost kind of like that cable knit sock. So the very tip, I'm doing a horizontal line, and that's kind of like the end of the sock. So again, I'm working in small sections. If you want to give it a go and try to do the whole thing at once, that's totally fine, but you'll have to wipe off the entire thing and start over. So it's better to work in smaller sections. So now I'm doing some vertical lines down from that horizontal line. And sorry guys, my camera kind of had a hard time focusing at this point, so some of the stuff was a little bit out of focus, so I kind of had to skip ahead. So I went ahead and did those same diagonal blobs like I did on the pumpkin. Exact same thing, but I'm going down the center of this sweater nail. So I went and did the whole left side, cured those, and now I'm doing the whole right side of little blobs and pouring the powder on and curing those. And then I'm taking that striper brush and doing some long vertical lines on either side of those. And then I'm going in with the little diagonal blobs again on the sides of those vertical lines. So that is all you have to do for the sweater nail. You don't want to top coat it, because if you top coat it, you'll lose the entire design. So no top coat, you just leave it as is and it stays perfectly fine. And then the other nails without the sweater patterns, we decided to do shiny, so we have a little bit of mix of shiny and matte nails. So I absolutely love the way they turned out. So adorable. I love kind of that like sock kind of cable knit pattern. I think it's so cute, and I love how the plaid kind of incorporated all of the colors. One more quick tip: when removing stamping off of the skin, make sure to use alcohol instead of acetone, because the alcohol will actually rub it off the skin and the acetone will cause it to spread, and then it kind of becomes a mess when you use the acetone. Make sure to tag me on social media, make sure you're following me on Instagram, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment and like, and I will see you guys in the next video.